Welcome to the Tribe UG podcast, episode number 3, season 2. And my name is Felix, a.k.a. the Ninja Felix. And as usual, I'm with a crew, with a gang. On my right-hand side, Badman, do you want to introduce yourself?
What up? Paulo the writer. Ian. Villain of the pod, apparently.
And don't you want to say shout-outs to Luca? What?
Shout-outs to my son, Luca, my wife, V. I hope you guys finally watch this episode because I'm tired of telling you what happens on set, but yeah.
And we want them to subscribe. On my extreme left,
Luca is too young to subscribe.
Les, welcome to episode 3.
Badman in Pendas.
Hey. Me of the Panda gang. Mark here, the count in the building. We are here to make our usual noise, but as you can see, as he has been skipping and throwing, we have some Barry.
For those who are watching, anyway, I'm audio to assassin. But if you're watching, you can notice that we have a special somebody, a special guest today. A brief preamble of who she is. All I know, she's the only DJ whose red card went up after the pandemic. Because she's that good. Her red card just went up. Other DJs were slashing prices, 2 for 1, 3 for 1. For her, just went up. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Sal Deejay. Welcome to the Tribe UG podcast.
I am excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for honoring our invite.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. Let's smiling from ear to ear. My guy, what's going on?
Remember, told us there are no females on the podcast. This is our redemption.
Anyway, if you are listening to via audio, we are somewhere on the coast of Zanzibar. So you can hear the noise in the background. That is a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
And yes, and of course, when you're on the beach, there are other people enjoying the beach. You're not alone. So, in brief, what we are saying, we are not misusing the money you send us on MoMoPay. We are investing in experiences, and we are trying to transfer these experiences via camera.
Yep.
Speaking of money, guys, we have a MoMoPay code. If you want to support the podcast, you can send us some coins. Shout out to everyone who has sent. Ninja C, who sent all the way from Nairobi.
Ninja C.
Guys, all the way from Nairobi. Mark, do you want to repeat the code for guys?
Don't let Ninja C be alone. Join her and send some money to 624404. That's 624404.
Yes. So you can send dollars, you can send euros. The only money we don't have, what's that? Zimbabwe pound. That one we don't want.
How about crypto?
Crypto, you have to talk to Les. If you want to send crypto, you have to talk to Les. Anyway, let's jump into today's podcast. Now, the person whom we are hosting today is a person of many talents.
Yes, sir.
Most of us got to know her as a radio presenter.
Yeah.
And then from radio presenting, we saw her transform into being a DJ or grow into being a DJ. Yes. But the system. We've also seen her. Now, for us who used to follow her, we also used to see her blog. She has a blog somewhere there on the interwebs. And on this blog is filled with gems, by the way. You guys need to check it out. We saw her also as part of her blogging career, let me say. She also highlighted a few things in the industry, and one of them is songwriting. And basically, she's also a songwriter. I'm trying to say she's a songwriter. So, guys, if you want to book her, reach out to me because I've been part of that journey. And I get her to write for you. But all that is to say, we want you to walk us through where your journey starts in this entertainment industry, in this media industry.
Okay, I do not know if we have enough time. What I do know is I have done a lot of things because mainly I wanted to be a part of entertainment, any which way. I wanted to be in sound, I wanted to be in visuals, I wanted to be in production, I wanted to be in everything sound. So I started my entertainment journey by joining radio, surprisingly, which I'm still doing today. the first thing I did was walk into the station. It was new. They didn't have presenters yet. They're still remodeling the place. And I was like, guys, can I? They're like, who are you? I'm like, please. Okay, maybe I didn't plead, but it started like that.
Yeah, you can mention this radio because they are good friends. I think.
Yes, that's Radio City.
Yes, Radio City. They have been our good friends of the tribe. Yes.
Yeah. Once I joined radio, I think a lot clicked. I realized I could do this. I could do this. So I started writing. Writing was my next thing. I put up a few blogs. I wrote some music, which unfortunately at the time I didn't know. I know now, but at the time I didn't know. I would sign NDAs. There is people walking around with my music acting like they wrote it, but unfortunately I cannot name.
Can we at least mention the crew?
No.
Oh, can we at least say Tinda, Machindi? We start from there.
That's very. You can tell. You can. Let me stop.
No, let me save you.
Yeah. So I started writing music, and then I slowly started to DJ because I work with DJ Joe, who personally I think is the best DJ in the country.
Mr. Continental.
Yes. And a lot of things were coming together, and I was like, why don't I DJ? So I go with Selector J. Selector J trained me, at least for my first year.
Bad man.
Interesting.
Yeah, the journey is beefy, eh?
Yeah.
So I went with Selector J. We would train from Governor. Those days I used to work in a bank. I started working in a bank because I wasn't yet sure about this other side. So I was doing all these things vis-a-vis working in a bank. And I would do all these things in the evenings. My radio show was a request show.
Yeah.
And it was 7 p.m.
It's the one you're doing with Dev Dash.
Yes, I was doing it with Dev Dash. Then I did it with Bucks. Like it also evolved.
Yeah.
But I stopped doing that because I got my hands onto so many other things. Yes, so when I started to DJ, I would leave the bank 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., rush to Governor because Joe was waiting for me. And you have to train before the people get there.
Yes.
Our sentence that if they are here, you're not going to, So I would play. And then I got so into it that everywhere I went, like if we're just going to hang out, I would want to play there.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, I've had this in the other place. I've had this yesterday. I had this, let's say, yesterday. I had this last week. So I started to want to play my own music.
Vibes.
Yes, my own vibes. And I found that even when I started DJing, because I've been DJing for 3 years now. This is my 4th year, including the 2 of COVID. So
That's impressive.
thank you. And when I started to DJ, I realized, okay, maybe my fellow weirdos, we are very few. Because what people like was not what I was playing. So that was a very big challenge.
Yeah.
I started as a strictly hip hop DJ.
Yeah.
I think I went an entire year doing strictly hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's not very marketable. So it was very, what's the word, Nick?
It was hard work.
It was
Let's just say. But what you're saying, I believe that because I know, like, you know how you listen to the same songs, you go here, same song. It's a thing that happens every now and then.
Yeah.
So I know that my first experience or my first time to watch you DJ, and I'll say what because I was there and normal things. You've arrived at the system location, you pour your beverages and you start applying it. And then I'm there and I hear Ataka song, and I'm like, who's playing? You know what it's like? It's not like it's a Taka song that had just come out, and you don't usually get that. So
you actually came and
I
told
look
me,
up and I'm
remember.
like, what? I walk across, of course, because me there and there, there's no keeping this secret. You have to tell them if you.
He doesn't know those nice places. He doesn't know those nice places where Sal DJs from.
Yeah, but you see, like I've said,
what do you know?
like we've said since season 1, I represent the average consumer.
Average
You guys do the
consumer.
field work.
Which average consumer?
You guys do the field work. I'm the back office guy. So you do the field work and I do the
Which
paperwork.
average consumer you don't relate to? You went to a school that had a swimming pool and a helipad. There's nothing average about
average in
that.
your thinking.
Yeah,
it's
As a DJ, how was the reception of you playing hip hop only? In the crowds
it
you played
was.
in?
I think I'm just going to say this. It was terrible. First of all, you face all the challenges of being female. First of all, people don't believe you even can. Let's start there. And then when you start, you're not playing their normal music. You're playing. So like, what is this? What is this? It was very, very hard. But I kept insisting because I love hip hop. And from going to all these places, you don't find many people playing hip hop.
Yeah.
And yet there is really, really nice hip hop, even Ugandan hip hop.
Yeah.
So I was like, I will keep the market niche, but I'll stay with the hip hop. And well, the market broke me. But I still play hip hop. I still do.
But I feel like playing hip hop now is definitely a lot easier than back then.
Yes, it is.
Because even as a market, the artists are actually giving you DJs content. They're giving you music. They're pushing out a lot of music, and we see this from the young artists, and of course the old generation. For them, the consistent ones have been consistently producing the music. But I still feel like even with that much music out there, even as a DJ, there must be a shift in energy when you have to transition to UG hip hop.
Yes.
So how is that in terms of growth from all the times you've been DJing? Is the reception growing?
Yes, it is. It's a bit slow, but better slow than nothing.
Yeah.
I remember in the beginning, I wouldn't play more than like when I just switched from hip hop to general formats.
Yeah.
I would obviously still put in a hip hop song here and there, and the reception was still very. What is this? But now you find perhaps it's because of the streaming, or is it because the artists are pushing their music themselves a lot more? But these days you play a hip hop song and people know these songs. For example, if you play something from Lagum's Razor, you listen to the album.
Yep.
You'll find quite a number of people who understand the song and who react to it. So the reception is growing. It's slow, but it's growing.
But what is it? Where is it easier? For example, when you're playing at a club, or playing like at a branch, or playing radio, you wouldn't really know. But where is the reception more in terms of when you're playing UG hip hop? Club, a branch, on radio. Where do you feel? Where's the energy more from the fans?
I personally find it to be radio.
On radio?
Yes. Radio and events like branches, events that are for I think an edgier crowd, for lack of a better word. If you played it in a club, you're really just testing the waters. You don't know who is there. But with these audiences that are a bit select, I find that reception a lot more. And on radio, when you play a song on radio, you find guys tweeting you, "Oh my God, I can't believe you played this song." There's a guy who knows this jam, you know. Also, the good thing about the radio reception is, if you play a song, for example, if I want people to like a song and I play a song, it could be a rubbish jam, but I like it. I'll tell you guys, listen to Mark's song, and I'll play it like 3 times.
Wait, Mark's song is the rubbish one.
I'm just imagining if you made music.
It would be rubbish.
You know,
there goes my career.
You know, Mark is a songwriter too. So I don't know what that says about the songs you write, but
We're yet to
One thing is true, I didn't write for Ian's mixtape. No? Okay. No, but I wanted to just again say, like, you know, there's so many events. You know, before, many times it was maybe the clubs in particular, and then radio. But I know that what Ian has just said is reminded me of, you know, those niche crowds in those type of events, like a branch and stuff. And then, like, I saw you at Smack League. Again, I'm here, I'm watching my team, I hear a song, I'm like, Sal, hey, Sal, you know, like, so I guess, do you feel like you guys have a lot more different, like, streams of, like, you know, different vibes that you can, of course, it depends on who you are as a person, what you're looking out for, but do you think that makes it more interesting, more entertaining, or you'd rather just be in that?
No. I don't want to be in a box. In fact, one of the reasons why I didn't leave. One of the reasons why I switched from being a strictly hip hop DJ is because I don't just listen to hip hop, even myself. Right? So I like playing for different people because you move in so many different ways. Like, you could start, usually guys like starting with the hip hop, but they play like 3-4 songs. I could go for 2 hours with just But it can move from a chill hip hop to hardcore hip hop to very, very hard hip hop. And it will still be nice. But if you're playing for just a hip hop crowd all the time, you'll only play hip hop. However, if you're playing for different crowds, I can play a hip hop track in a club.
Yeah.
Because I think, okay, maybe you will not like this song, but you like the one before, or you will like the one after. So surely it can pass. And that way, it's like you promote the song as well.
Yeah,
too.
we thank you for putting our guys on. guys, give her all your money. because this is, I mean, he's doing the thing.
But I also think the reception has improved because of the fusion of hip hop with other genres.
Yes.
The fact that people are trying to tap into Afrobeat and fuse it with hip hop.
Yes, people are finding hip hop more palatable because it's either getting softer or more commercial.
Yeah.
But
contrary to the raw hip hop where you have to actually listen.
Yes, I think that's true.
But also as a DJ that plays hip hop and you play music from other genres, Afro pop and our Chidandali, I always feel like you DJs are in the best position to consult on projects because you're out there more, you understand what the other side is doing, you know what hip hop is doing, but you know what the fans love. So when you consult on a project, like when someone doing an album, I've always felt like it's an untapped area you need to explore as DJs because you can lend your ear to the sound and be like, this may work, this may not work. I see what you're trying to do here.
I agree with you, but I want to rephrase.
Yeah.
I think producers should consult us.
Correct.
I don't come to you to bring to you my services if I'm going to do something that's going to enhance your project.
Yeah.
Personally, I have been consulted on about 3 albums right now.
Okay.
Even because I do produce music, it's nowhere near putting out to the people, but I'm starting to produce music. So I have worked with some producers, but from a DJ's perspective.
Yeah.
What do you think this will sound like in a bar or whatever? And like, no, make this kick stronger, change this melody or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have done that, and if producers can consult DJs or artists themselves, I think it will be a very, very good thing to push the industry.
So those 3 albums, can you mention them over Political Connects?
Political Connect. One is not even out yet. So.
Speaking of not even out, I do remember that last year you DJ'd at the Pulse, the MTN Pulse Rap Battle Showcase.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, system. And you did the thing. We enjoyed as well from our perspective as we were there. As usual, the fourth song but for the rest of us who attended, you did the thing. But while we were there, we had a small mini interview where you told me, yes, Ian confiscated our footage. But
That's
the
why we're not
footage
going anywhere with him.
the footage will be available for this episode.
No, but like you did tell us that you've been working, or you were working on a potential project with artists and stuff like that we can get to listen to sometime. We are here saying,
the follow-up. Okay, so that particular project is a personal project. That's music that I am going to produce myself and write myself because I trust myself more than anybody. I know it's narcissistic.
That is why we want.
No, the project is so far 5 songs are written. I think it's going to be. I'm not yet sure. It's still really planning stage. 5 songs are written. I want it to be a 7-track project. I am consulting on artists. There are artists who sound good on a record, but they don't sound good live. I want artists that can do both.
Yeah.
So I am.
We know a couple.
Talk to us after the pod.
When this guy comes to you, refuse. You might want to revive his rap career, but if he comes, just
That's why we're putting him at the end so we can crop him out in case of maybe.
No, but the project will come out. I'll definitely let you guys know. You'll probably be among the first people to know about this project.
So,
how is the songwriting process for you? Do you do it alone, or there are people you actually?
It can go either way, but I prefer working alone. Not on the whole thing, but like I can write something. Like let's say I can write a verse, and I come to you if you're a songwriter or if you're interested, and I ask you what that verse makes you think about, and if you can write a chorus for it. And if you can, then maybe I'll borrow your chorus and use it. But for now, I've just been writing all the songs myself. Yeah.
But how is the songwriting business? Because Mark is a brilliant songwriter. What's very frustrating for me.
What's going on?
Yeah. Doesn't believe in
A
himself.
brilliant songwriter. Like, have you written for this gentleman? And when we
I
listen,
wouldn't have died.
so how does he know what's brilliant and what's not?
No, because usually when he writes, he'll send me the lyrics. I will look through because besides making noise on this podcast, I'm actually a writer. I've written about music, and so Mark is a brilliant songwriter. Over the years, he has written. I asked him to help a certain guy who was kicked off stage at some R&B concert. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, you write music in his genre. I'm like, why don't you help this guy out? But Mark's like, nah, I can't, blah, blah, blah. But I always feel like...
I'm going to Brussels. I'm not available.
Why did you help the guy? Let's start with that.
Ian, you see, like how you said, you write something and maybe you have a vision for it or whatever. The guy, but also I'm a big R&B
But
fan.
he's
So
also-
if I write something that's R&B, whatever, I want it to go to someone with a voice.
To a genuine artist.
You can't know what you write. That's what I
Mark,
said.
you want it to go to a genuine artist. So anyway, but I feel like the songwriting business here is tough.
It is.
Because if it was more mainstream or receptive, somebody like Mark would explore that side of the industry. So how are you doing it? Because I know people that can write besides Mark. I used to write back in the day as well. But of course, the frustration of how do you actually get this music to be recognized and recorded? So how are you breaking that barrier?
To be honest, I don't think I have broken the barrier yet.
Yeah.
Because the projects that I worked on like a while back that went on to be something, I can't even talk about them.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I was just excited.
You can mention them. We shall mute the microphone.
I trust you. It's very, first of all, it's very hard to even earn from songwriting.
Yeah.
For example, if you took a song to a top artist, they'll feel like they're doing you a favor to sing your lyrics, which is not the case. I'm writing something for you.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think guys who write music need to just be strong and put their foot on the ground. If you're not either paying for this or I don't have a percentage on your
Royalties.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you my song. And that's what I started to do. And that's why, unfortunately, I'm now writing for myself. Because everyone else can't believe I used to write for them for free and now I want to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
don't you
They
leverage?
want to pay you. Wow.
Yeah.
But don't you leverage those songs because as much as you can speak about them, you make it sound those songs where they're actually out there and you have a reference point.
Yes,
So it's easy. I feel like it would be easier to market like, yeah, as much as I'm not really credited on this, but I kind of worked on it.
That's why I wanted to push. I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought if I put out my projects and you listen to my projects, if you're interested in how the writing was done, you find out who wrote the song. And then you realize I wrote that song. And I think that in itself is marketing. Like the next, although it's good to add on something, but for now I wanted my work to move organically.
Okay.
I agree with that, and I think it will be a huge step in the right direction for you. But also in terms of...
But you man, we're not yet
overall-
even halfway the episode. What is this?
They was angry.
Should we-
Sponsors,
should we
align these glasses. Align these glasses. Sponsors, I'm manifesting.
No, I feel like ultimately there's so many. It's like streaming. Well, it's something that people are starting to grow into and starting to learn more about and starting to use more. So in the same way, even something like songwriting or whatever, because there are many artists that are probably even talented, but you listen to the content of their music and it's lacking, like, this person could use this.
Yes.
But they're not necessarily aware of the availability of the service in the first place.
Yes.
So it allows for people, like, once people get more familiar at a certain point, something has to give. So I agree with you that, if people can strong arm the system and force people to be aware of it, it will grow. This is streaming, this is cab mentality, and then using the cab hailing services now versus before special hire 30K. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, there's people can grow into the into understanding the service.
I think it will take some time, but it definitely is headed that side.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on associations? Because I know there is a songwriters association. I know there is a musicians association. Do you feel like those associations do really help the people that they claim to be serving, or it's a disservice?
I think they are meant to help.
Yeah.
Whether they help, I'm not so sure. They are really meant to help, because if songwriters, for example, go together, you would even pick up on some other things that help you as a songwriter.
Yeah.
But I do not know if people ever meet, what happens, I do not know. So I'm not sure if they really help them. But I know they are meant to help you. And even other like associations of different like walks of life. They don't have to be just songwriters.
Yeah.
It could be podcasters, right? Do you podcasters have a? So because everyone wants to.
There's a podcasting community, by the way. Shouts to Angie of the podcasting community, who has tried to bring podcasters together.
Have they approached you though?
Eh?
Have they approached you?
No, they normally reach out when they need something from us, and we always respond. That's why I'm giving a shout out. Keep up.
You just said to Twagal and now you're shouting out people.
No, there are associations. You know, like Dube said, associations are for failed musicians.
Wow.
And I've been paying attention to Ugandan associations, and if you look at them, that's what's going on.
They are meant to help, but do they?
But I think also we need a structured industry, because you like there's a songwriter I know who wrote for Mafikizolo, and when I talk to him, the guy is living comfortably off those royalties.
One song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if like I don't know how we can structure it, but we need a structured industry.
Okay, you see,
because people can have different careers of this industry.
Yes, I have had people say that quite a lot, but no one is doing anything about it, and it will not do it by itself.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a guy to start, get knocked down, another guy pulls him up, then another guy joins, another guy joins, and it becomes a whole movement. For now, all we do, and I'm part of this, all we do is complain. I remember in lockdown when the DJs, when we weren't working anywhere.
And where your rate card stayed the same.
DJs, what are those?
I was lucky that I still had radio, but it was just once a week now.
Yeah.
And I remember DJs complained, I don't know what, they went to the government. I am told, this I just had. I am told we got some money. I never got it. Like, I see. So the structure needs to change from the people.
From the grassroots and from within.
Yeah, but I think it's the challenge we have in this industry, even as far as structuring it, it may not be something that will happen eventually, because like you said, someone has to start and get knocked down. But I always feel like it's up to the people that are most influential to actually want to organize the industry, because from
Who are those?
they know themselves
No, but
because you see, as a small guy, who's going to recognize your effort?
Never to a hip hop association. I can freeze it.
No, we can check you for it. Always check you.
what Ian is saying, you may want the most influential or the top whatever to want to do it. The issue comes when some of the people might be comfortable in their situation.
Yes.
And this is something Ian mentioned in season 1, in the sense that if this is the pie and you have a big percentage, 15% of the pie, ultimately, if you grow that pie and you still have 15% of it, your 15% has grown. And that is what sometimes people forget. So they're like, maybe I don't need to do this because I'm comfortable with my 15, which is a big. But then they have to understand that their 15 can grow too with the rest.
I think the $1 billion question is, how do you grow the pie?
No, but I think
Because when you try to grow the pie, you end up losing.
You might,
in the short run.
Yes.
no, because I think a starting point with the industry needs to stop being so informal. Like we cannot operate on vibes.
And yet that's our thing.
Yeah, like it has to be on paper. It has to be. Yeah, because like think about it. I'm sorry to use you as an example. The songs you wrote, had it been on paper,
It was on
That's
paper,
why
but
I
the
was
wrong
telling you,
paper.
like,
NDA.
Exactly. It was on the wrong paper. NDA. And I mean, at the point, because also at that point of your career, probably you were looking to
Just get in.
Yeah, to get in and see what happens. But because the industry is not structured and so informal, somebody saw a chance to exploit you.
Yes, and they did.
But had it been more structured and less and more formal, done the right paperwork, and all these many years later, you'd still
Probably
be.
have gone on to even write more because I would be motivated to, but I just.
So who does the structuring in this case? Is it the government? Is it the artist? Is it
Government.
where does the structuring start?
The structuring has to be done by all stakeholders. All stakeholders have to
That's
be
the
involved.
all pieces have to move. And
All
that's
stakeholders
why-
have to
that
be
is why it's
involved.
hard.
But it
If
has
there
to
was a
start from
single point or
somewhere.
whatever,
You
it's
see-
gone.
There was a center.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and then also the government, in this case, the political will has to be strong. But the only problem is our political will comes if there is taxes involved. Like, yeah, we can make $1 billion. No, we can come in. But yeah, we need, and I think that's why. Potentially, I think that's why most artists are getting into politics. It is going to take a long time for them to make an impact because when you go to these events and there are these events, they are speaking about the work they are actually doing internally, like what they are doing, where they have reached. But it's going to take some time for them to convince the powers that be that, you know what, this industry, if we structure it, if we invest in it, if we are a part of it, something can change for our
I think
citizens.
that, for instance, copyright. I feel like that should be a
The starting
very
point.
huge milestone.
Yeah.
That's where people
Yeah, but you
start
know, copyright
earning
is
money.
available.
But the
Is it
The
enforced?
enforcing and then also the education. That's the gap. So far, that's the gap. And maybe updating it because now the copyright Jetulina doesn't cater for streaming. I know these other guys.
Yeah, but you see, also for even copyright. I was having a conversation. We were having a conversation about people that don't honor like a contract. Yeah, but you see, because I mean, if it's a big artist and you
But
hire
some
him
of
to
these
perform,
contracts are like word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we
I
do
come
that
here,
a lot.
Felix tells me.
Yeah, we do that a
tomorrow we
lot.
have
And
meeting,
That is why Ian has said
Yeah.
something good is we need to be less informal. And,
Yes.
and the other issue is with the way we are as people also is that one person who didn't come and bring the paper. Maybe now this one is making me read. I can't watch
Yeah.
When we look at that person as an obstacle,
Yes.
or
Yeah,
problem,
yeah.
yet he's actually thinking bigger.
Yes,
It's actually
and
probably
propelling
something.
the progress.
And it's super tricky. Like, imagine, like, let's say we've been doing this podcast, and then tomorrow I'm like, you know what, guys, we have to sign a contract. So someone might be like, you guys, a contract for what?
Also because of the charge of using lawyers and all that. And I don't think very
The
many
fees.
people, the fees.
but
and all that.
lawyers are not that expensive.
Eh?
Yeah. Hold on.
Anange. Tata Luca.
Guys. No, because
I'm
you
sure
see-
even Lucas babysitter got a contract.
No, you see, the thing is, yeah. Let's be realistic here. Everybody here knows a lawyer who's a close friend or something. If you're doing something long term, you just need to make them understand where you're going. I'm sure they'd subsidize the fee for you. But you can't wake up today and go to Mpanga and say, "Oh, I'm going to songwrite here. Please sign for me." It's not like, come on,
No,
like you
that's
have
true.
to, yeah.
But we also don't have, if we do, they are not very well known. We do not have lawyers who are very well versed with this.
With entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Like if you find someone to talk to, it will be the lands guy. But because he's a
100%.
lawyer,
And
like,
I've said that
I know what.
I've said that
if we
before.
have lawyers who are like, I'm a copyright lawyer,
Yeah.
those are the guys to help.
I've said that before. You send an artist a contract, and then of course you tell them get a lawyer because it's in your best interest. And hey, my guy gets a land lawyer, and then the land lawyer, you interface with them, and the questions they're asking, they are so off, and you are like, now I have to teach a lawyer, yet I'm not a lawyer. But you chose this road, so you engage with a lawyer and you try to tell him how this thing works,
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh. But then
But also, I think some of the lawyers don't go through this because they also have subsections.
Yeah.
Most of them don't choose this because they don't see the value in it.
Right.
No money.
Yeah.
See,
But the money can be there.
It can
Can be there.
You see, one thing about it is, again, it's something that's heavily in our culture. We have let me call it the default sections in so many
Yes,
things.
yes,
We're like, this is the area, this is the area, that's it. I'll give an example. When we were in uni, for instance, there were scholarships for football, yeah? And then you have a basketball team that has started, that has done well, that has gotten to the finals and everything, and there's nothing. Not one kid, no whatever.
Yes.
You go another year, it's the same thing. You go another year, it's the same thing. Then what she is saying, the one that matters, is we who finished and we're like, no. We need to do something and get guys on scholarship. Actually, we did it before we finished. We had to do an event and we all get money and sponsors, and we did a whole thing. Shout out to the companies that came through. Got guys on scholarship.
Wow.
The first year we get 2 guys on scholarship. That season, one of them is MVP, one of them is top scorer. And you tell the university, you know what I'm saying?
really good.
But you see, again, we've done that at individuals, and again, you know, Ugandan stuff or whatever, or the way this culture thing we've said is there's no record official somewhere that the first 2 scholarships of this kind for this whatever were done by this
Which
particular
is very
group of
sad. I think people
individuals.
should document more. People really should.
Yeah,
But
but
a writer, what's up?
yeah.
Document.
Yeah, I'm Felix. I'm going to send you a contract. Get your lawyer, and then I'll document. But also the other challenge is how informal our industry is. I feel like the artists, where if you take a contract, they look at it as you being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say I won't say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it's for our own good, me and you, because I will refuse to pay you.
They have to protect each other.
Yeah.
Which is I think it's an industry as a whole, because even as a DJ I face this issue. When I start working with places, I ask to sign a contract. They're like, why? You're just going to come here on Saturday and play. I'm like, okay, so but what if something happens? Like what are my rights in this? Like for me, I'm looking at it in that way. But for them, they're like, no, we are telling you you're going to play on Saturday.
Nice,
Like,
this woman
So when you
out
insist,
there.
do they actually?
Like, what is this? And I really try to insist. Like if I really want the gig, I'll not insist. I'll be like, okay.
So wait, if they refuse, you let it go?
No, I don't let it go. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Like if I want the gig, I'll be like, okay.
Hold on, would you rather lose the gig?
On some gigs, yes.
Yeah.
On some gigs, yes. And I have.
If the benefits are not that much,
Yeah.
like this one, it's really is.
But have you ever had to invoke a clause in your contract?
No.
But you see, it's that thing of it's a saying.
Even your radio
you may
contract.
never use it, but you like to use it.
Yes,
Yeah,
you know it's there. Like
goes.
I
Have you
feel
ever
like
used your
it's
airbags?
protective.
Yeah. No.
I see.
No,
But Steph Moda doesn't have their bags.
No, but you see, because I feel like what I want to understand is people take contracts for granted.
Yes, I do.
But even you who have signed a couple of contracts, what I wanted to know was if you've had incidents where the contract has actually protected you because you're in a situation and you invoked a clause and you're like, aha.
No. I've not been in a situation where there's a wrangle and I have to pull out my contract.
Yeah.
But I have been in situations where I don't do some things I'm told to do because my contract doesn't tell me to do them.
Okay. Yeah.
Deliverables.
Yes.
Like, that's not on my list.
Yeah, I could if I want to, but if it does not add anything to me, I won't. And I'm right not to.
But in a more, I don't know if you have privy to see contracts of other DJs. I always feel like as a female DJ, you always have to fight more to get an equal share of the pie.
On all fronts, it doesn't have to be just about the contracts. From
Yeah.
pay to days to working hours to I feel like my whole DJ career, I have just been fighting.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that way on paper. Like if you look at my DJ career on paper, it looks very, very good. Like I'm so proud of it. But, thank you. But it has been a struggle every time.
Yeah.
Every time. And I remember one time I set up at a place, names withheld, and the guys, there were some revelers who were enjoying their whatever. Someone said, how come our DJ is going to be female?
Yeah.
Like I heard it and I just reacted. Like I turned and looked at him. 2 hours later, he was buying me drinks because he's having such a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
But have you, because when we were doing research for this episode, I did a deep dive on your Instagram and I noticed especially your fashion choice has changed over time. Because at the start of your career, you're more of Chuck Taylors and sweatpants. But I see nowadays it's more chic.
Okay.
So I guess what I want to understand is that something that has grown because you're getting more comfortable at your job, you've broken certain barriers, you're setting a certain kind of
Image.
yeah.
It's just in vogue.
Oh, he caught your leg
Just
day.
went up and hey, let's go, man, like that. But this is what happened. I remember I made this joke before we started this. I'm a very, 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 very shy person.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would back then I would wear something really baggy because I'm trying not to get noticed as much as possible.
Yeah.
And even the pictures I would put up, they were very abstract. The clearer pictures are coming in now because yes, I'm getting more comfortable, and yes, I am also, the brand is moving much farther. So if I'm just coming to play for Mark and his friends, it doesn't matter if I put on my sweats, right? But if
But I get back and suffer. Rubbish music.
no, but if Felix calls me to come and play,
You are the people who don't pay when there are no contracts. Felix will pay.
no, like there's also that thing of I really should at least try and look nice, you know. So yes, it's I think it's like an evolution.
Yeah.
Because your mind gets clearer, you care less, and yet you care more at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it's just been that evolution.
But also, again, I know because what I noticed is when I saw the whole change in the fashion, have you had other female DJs or people females that hope to be DJs approach you and they're like, I like what you're doing and I feel like you're setting a really good pace for us?
I have, but I don't know. I have not. Like people have told me, not even just females.
Yeah.
I've had people who shout me out for pushing this thing further. I'm not the first female DJ, honestly.
Yeah.
But I am pushing a lot of boundaries, and I get a lot of commendation for that. But for some reason, I feel like I don't know how to take that.
Yeah.
So I don't dwell on it so much. I'm like,
Speaking of fashion, Felix would like to apologize again.
Man,
I swear there's no WhatsApp group. I swear.
guys,
There's no WhatsApp group.
guys.
There's no WhatsApp group. It's on
Very
Telegram.
soon.
WhatsApp group is there.
Very soon I'll do this podcast alone. Because check this gentleman. They're like, hey, long sleeve shirts to get in there. May I come in my t-shirt?
Your tribe uniform. Get for us.
Sal, I wanted to ask you, on the outside, it looks like the DJ industry is lucrative. Like basically, you look at a gig guide of let me say a DJ, and like in one night he has like 5 spots he's going to,
And they're major.
the top spots, and all these spots. Let's say when worse comes to worse, they're going to give you like let's say a 800k, a 500k. So on the outside, it looks like a DJ can convey a corporate guy's salary in one night.
Yes, they can.
So is it as lucrative as it looks to be on the outside?
Well,
Because Ian is ready to quit his 9 to 5.
He does not seem like the kind of
Felix,
guy who would be
you can't put such information
He
out.
just,
Yeah.
I think he's a bit more uptight.
Hey! You see all those questions you were asking. You know you're coming off as an uptight guy.
I have a lot to lose. I have a son, you know.
And then also the other thing I realized, like in the club, like if a guy is enjoying what you're playing, I was saying DJs being handed bundles, and I almost said, "Hey, the manager, muzikwa sense."
You know, the
Because I'm good.
DJ, well, you seem lucrative. Like, it depends on the page. For example, there is a DJ who has like 3 gigs on Thursday,
Yeah.
has nothing on Saturday, right? But in that Thursday, he has made his rent, he has paid maybe half his kids' fees.
Yeah.
And these
he
current
had food
fuel
for the
prices.
next one. So it depends.
Fuel.
Like, it looks that way because it can be that way, but it doesn't mean that's exactly what it is. I mean, I have gone months. For example, May has been my worst month since
the year started.
lockdown. That's because I lost 2 gigs. Can you imagine just 2 gigs?
Yeah.
I have like others, but these were like,
Yeah.
you know. So it can be that way if you can keep pushing that way, but it's too demanding.
Yeah.
That sometimes you fall off, like, you know, no, let me give myself a break, rest this month or this week or whatever. And when you do that, you lose something because now they moved on to the next guy.
The next guy,
you
yeah.
know? So it can be.
So like, how do you strike a balance then?
I'm still struggling with that. I'm still struggling with that too, because I'm a very strong believer in personal peace.
Yeah.
And I am a very, like I said, I'm a very shy person. So, and I'm such an introvert that it's such a contrast. So sometimes I do these gigs because one, I really wanted to be part of that project.
Yeah.
Or two, you're really just trying to get something regular where you're like, okay, maybe every second I'm here. You know, it's good for the brand, it's good for you, it's practice and whatever. But then there are other gigs you're like, I'm sure I can do this gig. Let me stay home, take a nap, catch up with family or whatever. Yeah. So it depends on you, really. Depends on you.
I need to ask you about the songwriting in particular. It's arguable that urban music struggles with to get more listens than Chidandali because of the content. It's arguable that the content does not resonate with the masses in our context, right? So the question is, as a songwriter, how do you draw the balance between expressing your creative side, right, and sharing your experience, right, and also having music that resonates with the masses, like those who may not necessarily be urban listeners, but also those who are into Chidanda?
Okay. I think, again, I think it depends on the person. There are writers who can only write for a pop artist. They cannot write for an R&B person because they're not soulful, let's say. And also it depends on either the artist you're writing for or the kind of music you're writing. For example, if you're writing an indie jam, where you are mentally is not even about relatability, but it will be relatable because it's about emotions, right? But if you're let's say you're writing a song for Winnie Nwaji,
Okay.
you're not going to write the same song you'd write for Max Artist. I think.
I was worried.
Anang, if Mark writes for you, after this episode, evaluate.
I think Mark is actually a very good writer. Does that make sense?
Well, I've seen people.
So where you draw the balance is it's really up to you and what you're doing. If you're writing for this particular artist, you can write in this way or in that way. So you
for you, in your creative process, how do you start? Like, as in, when you're starting out a song?
I write on emotions, purely.
Emotions, okay.
Purely on emotions.
Have you
But
ghostwritten for a rapper before?
By the way.
Hey!
We're going to expose you.
That is a yes. We know. That is a yes.
that has a yes.
The fact that you had to first think
We're going
about
to
it.
research a rapper that
Silence is
overtweets,
not argument.
a rapper that overlikes and follows.
And overengages
Is overcompensating for not paying.
For not paying. You are the one who made that sign an NDA.
You're really digging. I'm not going to say.
What names has she said so far? Lagoon?
Hey, Lagoon.
Only name I've dropped, isn't it?
So no, but
The others are DJs, so it's okay.
yeah, but still, which artists in the hip hop space do you feel like at the moment they're onto something, and you really see where they're going with whatever they're creating now?
Sorry to name drop again.
Lagoon?
I think Lagoon is onto something.
Yeah.
He has there's something raw about his potential, but there's some harnessing to do as well.
Yeah.
I think for me, this particular artist, that's Taka, I feel like he has been doing very, very well, but
Yeah.
he is I don't know how to say this without
Say it.
You are Sal.
You're protected.
You are Sal. You're not disrespectful.
the second I walk out of here, I'm my own. No, but I think Taka is another very, very good hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Who just needs something needs to switch. Like it's just a small thing that needs to. I probably know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Tell us.
Tell us.
Les has a term for this. Les, do you want to tell?
No. Let's
I have no time for it.
There's a rapper I discovered on that MTN Pulse hip hop thing. I think the homie.
Yeah.
I think the homie is onto something.
Yeah.
The artists that are onto something, I would assume should be like the younger guys.
Yeah,
who are still
yeah.
out. There's an artist called, I think,
Naxa. Naxa.
This is so dope. I like the people that we
Naxa.
That thing is also
Yep.
I really like it.
So even if I stop.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So let me ask, if you had to put together the perfect collabo from the other side and hip hop, and you have to feature 3 artists, our Afro
side.
beat,
Oh, okay.
and you had to feature 3 artists, what does that, with the current sound, with what artists are making, who are those artists for you? Which artists do you feel like would blend
specific.
into the perfect cocktail?
Can I use Ugandan artists?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ugandan artists.
I would get. There are like 5 groups already in my head. I would get Taka. Sit on something with like Ko and JC.
Yes, I would.
You would too.
Yes, any day.
Okay. I would get. Oh, you said 3.
Yeah.
And I would add. What's his face? Oh, I'm forgetting the artist, but he's a new artist who is doing. There's a guy called Dreventi. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dreventi.
No, put us on.
No, I just did.
I'm in shock. I'm like, this just say someone we don't know.
Who do you think you were talking to?
I'm so happy. This is rare for me. I'm like, yes.
Oh, because guys are always.
I'm the one who is going.
No, you should check out the artist. He's trying to do something. It's hip hop, but it's pop.
Okay.
Hip hop.
There is rap, but it's not hardcore rap.
Yeah.
He just put out his album. I think it's an EP called Blue Detail.
Blue Detail.
Just check it out, just for.
How
First check
do we not know
Spotify.
these things?
I don't know how you do know.
Oh my god.
But yes,
Revenge.
I would put him with Taka. I feel like Taka needs a soft guy and another guy who is in his style but is not really rapping. Like I think that would be perfect. First of all, he would shine, I think.
So
And then
yes. Taka is yet to give us an album. We're waiting for it.
we are waiting.
So Taka, that's
We
one
have
of the
been waiting.
ideas.
We've been waiting
That's
for over
the
a
idea
decade,
they're
eh?
giving me.
I think for me,
Maybe those are very good ideas for him.
yeah, I think so. I think if Taka went into production, it would that's the switch. That's
Oh.
because when I talk to Taka, he tells me we've been friends for a minute.
Yeah.
And he has told me he's not interested in production, and I did not understand that. How are you not?
He wants to keep some employed.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Some rhyme.
Mama, keep employing the people. Listen to youth, but they don't have to be young.
Yes.
One thing, DJing. I know we've talked about DJing from our simple, that simple view of I'm just playing songs.
song, yeah.
But, it's something that has been a big and an important part of the hip hop and urban culture in terms of.
DJing pushed hip hop.
Yes, exactly. It's something that has
That's
been
where it
there
started from.
the jump.
Yeah.
And that is why we mentioned, like we've talked about this before, like we've had a producer episode where we've highlighted a lot of the producers out there that are doing it big for hip hop, especially in Uganda. But we know that when it comes to DJing as well, there's a big role to play, and it's just important to know that there are these people who pay attention to our craft. And
Yeah.
so, guys,
Yeah.
please, you tell Sal what about. Tell her, check out this thing. I'm here struggling. What do you think?
I have had
and pay her.
By the
And
way,
pay
Sal,
her.
how do you come across new music from
I
the urban
have
artists?
had, I think,
Do artists approach you, or you
Yes.
you
No.
discover the music yourself?
50% of the music I get, especially from Ugandan guys, they send it to me because I'm always pushing guys on my socials. Please send me new music. Please send me new
Oh, that's
music.
impressive.
I've been doing it for years, so I think it is slowly becoming a culture. When guys put out songs, they send them to me.
And how do you sieve out the music that you're
I
going to?
listen to everything.
Wow.
I am one of those people.
Have you got a track and you're like,
Yes.
Of course.
why?
Yes.
Why did you waste this money?
Yes. and for artists who want feedback, I have given them my honest feedback.
How do you feel? Because we are struggling with that.
Why?
They call
The
us
feedback we
haters.
give guys are like,
Maybe
oh,
you're
you
very
guys are
harsh.
haters. We're not. I think the reality is people, of course, nobody likes to be criticized.
Yes.
But if it's going to help improve, especially if it's public consumption,
Yes.
if I listen to your song and it's lacking, I'm going to say it. Because like Mark
Maybe
always
it's
says,
how you say it.
No.
okay, there is that too. But
Sometimes in the moment, but I know that there are times we say this where it's like, I can say, let's say you have 10 songs. I can say something perfect about 1 to 9.
Yeah.
And then I say, but 10, 10, if only he had
And
done
that's all
this.
he'll take
They
away.
forget
That's
about
it.
the name.
1 to 9, gone.
No, that's true. That's true.
Like,
I actually don't give people feedback unless they ask for it.
yeah, of course.
Because I have this way of being blunt about things. And like everything.
Yeah.
Friendships, relationships, work. I'm just a blunt person.
You know what amazed me a couple of years ago? I did a review for Baru and Del Boy, but before I published it, I texted Baru. I'm like, I didn't really like the project. The review is very negative. He was like, post
Express
it.
yourself.
I was shocked. He was like, post it. He's like, I don't care, post it. Whatever is there, I'm going to read.
It's one of those chapters I didn't like very much as well. I
Yeah.
will not say which one. There were 3, were they?
There were 3, yeah. And I posted it, and it was so harsh because some
was
people
it
came.
so harsh?
Because I felt I didn't quite understand what they were trying to do. I saw what they were trying to do, but I felt like they were trying to do it a bit wrong. So I pointed out a couple of things. But Baru took it so well because in the next project, I'm not saying it was my feedback that made him improve, but in the next one, when I listened,
You saw the
I saw the things, and I felt like now this is somebody that's looking at progress and growth.
Yes.
But the attacks we get for what we say here is.
No, but you see,
Some people just don't want to hear
that's it.
anything
That's it.
negative.
That's it.
But then how do you grow?
For you, you know that you will learn from negativity. They don't know that.
The argument is actually we don't understand their creative process and what they are trying to express.
But you know, there are some people who are doing rubbish. I remember.
Right?
I remember yesterday, but when I wrote something on the TL, and someone told me, "Oh, we are going to save this, and when your music comes out, I'm going to quote with this tweet." I told them, bro, I've said what I said.
Yeah.
What I said was, no, listen to what I said and you judge.
say.
I said, there's a lot of new music this year, and
Yeah.
that's very exciting. There's some gems to look out for, but there's some rubbish too.
Yep.
And I love sieving through.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Which we all do.
And you know,
Wait, I mean,
Oh, is it that bad?
no, let me tell
and you know, if whichever artist probably lashed out, you're in the rubbish that needs saving. Because why would you be offended?
Yes.
no,
Why?
we say the same thing.
In fact, there are even some projects where there's like 5 songs, 2 are kawa, 3 are not.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, this particular artist or this
No.
particular.
But even like for us, like for instance, I mean, the podcast is on. We listen to a lot of music.
Yeah.
If we're doing album reviews, we listen to a lot of music. And like, there's those that you like immediately, and it's easy money. You talked
Yes.
about Razor, that was easy money. It's an easy listen. There's so many others like that that are just easy money.
Yeah.
And then there's those you listen to, and you're like, hey, how many songs to go?
Yeah.
Hey, is that stretching? What? Like,
You know that even there's when you get an artist and you're listening and you go back to the contract, you're like, I'm on this podcast, but my sides suffer like this. Is this part of the job?
And Les wrote in the group, some of these feel like chores and punishment.
And I think what artists need to do is take that. In fact,
Yeah.
maybe we are wrong. Like there are people who have told you this will not work for you, and it goes on to work for you.
Yeah.
So maybe we are wrong. Like prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't be so mad.
Do you think there is a need for like A&Rs in our industry?
Yes, there is.
Because there's an artist who's in close ties with us, right?
Who is that?
In close time. Don't offend our political connect. or
I
our
won't.
musical one.
And we have an issue with his music, but he's one of those people who lashed out on social media. And Felix actually said it to him. No, he didn't say it to him. He said it to us. Said, this guy needs an A&R, and his music will be
I
fine.
think a
So
lot of artists do.
Man, I said a lot of nice things to you guys. I should stop.
You
should
even
stop.
forgotten you said this.
Aish, man, I forget a lot. I wanted to ask,
Yeah.
what goes into preparation for a gig for you? Like, as a DJ. Like, let's say I've reached out, I've said the date is this, we have agreed on the fees. Because we've seen DJs, the guy comes, he DJs what he has DJed from the other event, or he comes with a flash, he puts in, and then he plays. What goes into preparation for you?
Personally, I hold myself to very, very high standards.
Yeah.
Even those standards that I've not yet achieved, I still hold myself to those standards.
Yeah.
So when I'm invited to, I find that 80% of the gigs I play, I'm actually just invited. So when someone calls me, first thing is there's a reason this person called me.
Yeah.
Right? There's pedigree in what I'm going to deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be a hip hop thing, I'm not out here listening to Omale, I don't know who. I am strictly putting everything together hip hop. What do I have? What don't I have? Because when I look at music like on Twitter, I bookmark. I go through my bookmarks. Did I get this? Did I get this? Have I listened to this? Will this work with this? So I come to the event thinking of the event unjustly.
Right.
So if it's a general thing, for example, they call you to one of the Kampala bars, I'll listen to what's playing now, what's overplayed, what can I add as Sal? Like what's
That's the Sal touch in this one.
Yes.
Sal sauce.
Yes.
Wow.
When I handle all my gigs the same way. There's one time I had 3 gigs one night and I've never done that again because the experience was absolutely terrible. Because I think about where I'm going to play, who I'm going to play for, what they might enjoy. I have like extra credits for just in case, because it could be wrong. You get there and guys are not moving to this. So I go to this place, I play this. The first one was very, very well. The second one was absolutely terrible. I went to the third one, I think I cried. I don't know, but I really think I did. And the third one was also very good. But the second one almost had me off, and I was like, I'll never do this to myself again. So, because I wasn't that prepared for the second one. It was around that season of Women's Day. I don't know why people call like all female DJs on Women's Day. It's like people work on other days as well.
Yeah, and that preparation, a lot of DJs take it for granted.
Yes,
for
they
instance,
do.
your career failed.
I have found that.
For you.
First things first. My career did fail.
Your career failed.
My career is thriving. I tell you, I'm a VOC DJ. VOC DJ.
Don't say that.
I'm a VOC
Don't say
DJ.
that to anybody.
And it is thriving. If you ever come around, like
Your
yesterday
house.
we had Sam's talent. Sam was doing that. That VOC, yeah. And Sam is a producer, so we're on the same page. You're like, yes. He even showed me new tricks.
But the problem with Felix's DJing, he's going to get like a mix you've done,
And then
put it on VLC, just max that 200 volume.
Brother, I respect the craft a lot to use other DJs' work.
No, but I think preparing for a gig is really up to you.
Yeah.
There are people I have worked with who show up with a flash. They want to put it in my machine. I'm like, dude, you're a DJ. You didn't come with your... For example, me, I move with like a whole set of equipment.
Yeah, I've seen.
I move with my decks. I move with a mixer. I move with my laptop. I move with like... So a guy comes, he's probably getting more than I'm getting.
Yeah.
The guy has shown up with his flash to put in my laptop. I'm like, no, bro. And you're mean. I'm not mean. I am teaching you a lesson. Be ready. Unless you're like also friendly, because some of them are not. But you're friendly and I have time, I'll let you play on my machine. But it's... Really, why would you operate like
That's
that?
the thing of school. You came to class with no pain. That type of vibe.
Yeah.
You just wing it. She'll figure it out when we get there.
But the thing of doing work prior to your show, I've also seen, we've been to a couple of hip hop shows, right? Urban music shows.
Yeah.
And in between sets of the performances, people are playing Nigerian music.
Yes.
So I find that very problematic.
Actually,
do too.
I want to agree with it's so emotional that I had to interrupt. I'm sorry, but it's one of those things where we show up. You guys are many. You have so much music that people might not know.
Yeah.
You're probably home complaining that we go out, they never play our music, and now here we are at
Your
your
show?
event.
Yeah.
And you...
I'm a piano. I know Felix can be happy there.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, this is that opportunity
Playing
that's in your
Omale,
power. So
right.
this is- and of course, we are happy to listen to those other people.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's like, this was your
That's
chance.
not why-
This was your chance. Like,
To introduce us to new music that we may not know
But
about.
I'm happy that you're saying that because me as a DJ, I face such issues. You come with a specific vibe for a specific night. It's even on the name of the night.
Yeah.
This is the dash night.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, why aren't you playing? You're like, did you read the poster? And then now they're so mad. Now they want to leave. Now you're like, okay, so I don't want to look like I'm not doing my job, but
Yeah.
this is what you came for. Like,
This is what you paid for.
I don't. In my head, I don't understand how it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I also don't understand.
Anyway, we always say this, and I'll just have to say it again. We may think that things are obvious, but then
Yeah,
they're
that's what
not.
I'm saying.
So here we are saying it, guys. Read the poster.
no, read the poster.
Read the
Yes,
poster.
yes.
Yeah, but do you feel like we're at a point where it's easy for, given the amount of music that's out there, especially hip hop, do you think hip hop events like just centered on hip hop can actually stand on their own now? From a DJ's perspective and from how crowds react.
I think they can, but they need proper support.
Yeah.
Because now if you mention I'm going to a hip hop event, everyone is thinking, right? Like they've not really given it substance.
Yeah.
But they can.
But as a DJ also, because of course I know artists when they're performing at a place, yeah, you come early, you do sound check, blah 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 blah, and probably you have your own DJ and you've done all that. But I always feel, because I've seen, especially like when you watch like international concerts, somebody's DJ can get on set and actually work the crowd even before the artist gets there. So is that about the music? Is that about the crowd? Is that about how the DJ prepares the music?
It's about the DJ.
Yeah.
It's about the DJ.
It's all about the DJ.
It's about a DJ.
What do you think it is about?
Hey, who do I offend? I think at that point it is about the DJ.
Yeah.
Because you're there, let's say you've come through for I was going to say Ian's concert, but you wouldn't. Let's say you've come through
HR.
for a Cohen. Don't tell HR.
Nah, bro, you'll be there with Luca.
Of course, Cohen is doing okay. Not of course. Sometimes an artist might decide to start straight up, but if it so happens that he has set up this DJ and this DJ is going to go first, you've come for Cohen, so your mind has not planned for that DJ. So when that DJ does a good job and catches you off guard, you're like, wait.
Something extra.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah, because you see where I'm asking. I've watched concerts online where you're not really a fan of the artist,
Yeah.
but before the artist comes on stage, that DJ comes out and you're like, okay, this is. By the time the guy comes, you're like, right, you're hyped for the
That's
music.
jamming the music.
Yeah, you're like, okay, so they have all these
I really,
jumps.
really, really give it to the DJ for that.
Yeah.
That I give it to the DJ.
So, but like as a DJ, if you're preparing a set for a specific artist, how much preparation goes into it? Do you have to study their music? Do you have to do like a history class on to prepare the set?
I do that for almost all my sets. So.
Yeah.
But I have not prepared for a specific one art, and I really, really wanted to that. I wanted to be a certain artist's DJ. No, I'm not going to mention their names, but it's their loss. They said no, and I was very, very sad.
Yeah.
I wanted that feeling of if this person is going to perform here, I'm there to be a DJ, I'm there.
Yeah.
That's because I understood the artist.
Yeah.
Not only what they've done, what they are trying to do, and what a DJ can add to that.
Right.
You know, most people think a DJ is just put this song. But it's not. I can add something to your performance just with what I am doing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's the DJ really.
Have you guys seen that clip of DJ who was playing Pussycat Doll song and mixed Cassie's?
Yes.
You've seen?
I think I have seen it.
Yeah.
That's
and
so good.
That was so good because
It's another red light kind of
yes. And when you mention adding something to the music, I imagine if you are DJ for a specific artist, those are the kinds of moments the crowd would be getting.
You need to
Yes.
come on.
Yeah.
If you look at how do I say? We've had a Diplo on a major laser show in Kampala, and one of the things that happened that I remember going for the Diplo, and where people are on stage basically playing music, but it was so surprising for me, even for some of the Ugandan DJs, that guys were now venturing into getting off their 12-song playlist, and I'm like, it's amazing how much music is out there in the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're depriving yourself, Ian has been depriving himself of Kenneth Mugabe. You're depriving yourself of good stuff because you're not taking that leap. You're like, here is a safe zone. I'm staying in it. And that's why I respect a DJ
really
who's bold enough to be like, no.
It can be something else.
Yes, it really can, because it really can. And I really get, I'm happy when there's DJs here and there, and I said it same way I've walked up to you more than once in the past, there are people have been, there are those there are those household names that we've, engaged with here and there. Yeah. But like there are those where you're like, who's that?
Yes.
Like, even some of the newer guys, you're like, because someone like Selector J, it's been a long thing. That's someone who would go and you will. As guys sit, his booth is here. We are here. Yeah. We have to see. Bonga. Another one. Because it's too much, and those are just dope experiences for me because I'm like, every other day it's us and our drinks and our friends and that's it. But every now and then this one who I didn't plan for you. It's always a dope.
But I think audiences, and I know because the pool is so big, this has to come from the DJ obviously. But if you go to a place, I have played somewhere a set that to this day I think is my best set, and it got one of the worst reactions. Right? But it was one of my, and I still play it to this day. Like I record, I'm like, you people, you missed out. Right? But there are some DJs who go somewhere and they start off heading in the right direction. Right direction, I mean, this is something different. Halfway through, the crowd is not moving. Like, okay, let me just play for you what you want.
Default.
Right? So if the crowd is what should move you, and some people say it should. If you're playing for the crowd, you need to understand the crowd. Or play for people who understand what
you're doing. There's something DJ Aluda always says.
I saw that tweet. When she said that, that's where I went. I went exactly there.
He's always advising DJs never to read their crowd.
Don't read the crowd.
Let me tell you, it messes you up. Because if you're playing something, like that day, I just didn't change that set because I was recording it. So now I was thinking about the guys who are going to listen to this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you guys, it has done with fine. So I kept on that same plan. But you find that sometimes you're forced to, you're like, you know what, man, I don't want guys to leave here saying, overrated.
You've said something that has reminded me of something we talked about in the last episode. We talked about monetization avenues and things like that. And we mentioned how DJs have used platforms like Mixcloud or whatever to upload some of it. Again, because you mentioned recording the set. Do you use multiple platforms? Do you have your go to? How do you do it? Or do you just play it for them on a given day when you have a show like this and this one, the quarter?
I used to initially, but I have my Mixcloud. I put up sets that either I like or I'm targeting a certain audience. So I have put up, I think I have about 60 mixes now.
Oh, wow.
If you are an artist out there and you're not in these 60 mixes,
I really don't know because
you have to rework your music.
It was working there. I really tried to put up it was working there. However, I have not yet monetized it. I noticed Cass Baby monetized it. I was so jealous. I was like, no, for now mine are free, but you can't download them. So you go and listen.
But I've always wanted to ask a DJ this question. Have you done weddings before?
One.
Why does every wedding DJ have the same playlist?
The lunch.
Yes, the lunch slot.
Not me.
Yeah, because I noticed.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like the artist, especially since he put me on to Kenneth. I noticed the artists that have music that can replace this old template of what they always play. But I'm like, what's up? Like,
because their heart will always go on.
Clearly, Ian hired the wrong DJ for his wedding.
No. Actually, let me tell you, for my wedding, I chose the playlist. Every time it go off the playlist, I'd be like,
bro, that's not.
Hey, you know the item. You get the item.
And you see, because I didn't want them to crowd it with a lot of music. I didn't want, for like lunchtime, I gave him piano covers. I didn't want any lyrics. I gave them piano covers. I'm like, just play this. Because I don't want to be there near from this moment. I'm like, guy, I'll come for you.
No, I think my response to that is it cuts across. If you walked into a bar today, for example, it has a Friday feel, it has a Saturday feel, it has a Sunday feel, which have been merged into one thing. You can walk into a bar on a Tuesday and it feels like you're in there on a Saturday. because guys have become these are songs we should play, these are songs we should play, these are songs we should play, and I think it cuts across, because even wedding guys are like, if you go to a wedding, these are the songs for lunch, these are the songs for walking in, these are the songs. And even that wedding I played, that was my best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
I asked him, what song do you want to walk down the aisle to? And he said what song he said, and I asked him like different areas. What when you're going to catch cake, what when your mom is coming, what when you first dance, what. You know, change. When they go and change the things I saw on that wedding. Anyway, people go and change, they come back, they look different. Now it's a different vibe. So I asked him, and he kept like, for some areas he let me choose. He would tell me, make this a romantic moment, but you would choose. Make this like this, or you choose for me this, but for this one I want this one I want this, I want this, I want this. So I think it cuts across. People just need to be more open.
Because I think the reason I don't go to parties, I don't do parties, I don't do weddings, it's because I dread that lunchtime music, because it's just
I said I don't do weddings. I was going to be like, so you didn't go for yours?
No, because I feel like they've deliberately refused to evolve in some areas.
His wedding was in the lockdown, so he said, guys, we have to have small numbers. You guys go.
Me, I will stay here. Have you ever been playing and then a certain Joseph comes to you and is like, hey, so play me this song, so what do? You don't play.
Yes,
you just continue.
Let me tell you, the few times I have played requests, and it's not in bad faith or whatever, you're going to find me in a completely different side.
Different zone. Yeah.
Right, I'm probably in a EDM section. I love playing EDM. I incorporate a lot in myself.
Yeah.
I'm probably in some EDM side of things.
Yeah.
And you want a Palazzo jam. These songs are like on 100.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like 125, like, okay, nothing wrong with the Palazzo jam, but not now. And it's like, no, I want it now. We've got to leave. Okay, bye. You know?
But from how you're imitating the audience, I feel like you need a bodyguard.
That's what you guys are asking. I'm also very timid. I can't really say something.
Felix, part-time gig.
Sal is good people. She just makes a phone call. I'll be there.
I try to be nice. I try to play the request that I can. It is rare, but I can.
Let me ask, are there gigs where, are there DJs who play hits on, like, yes. So now, what happens in a situation where such a certain type of DJ is on a DJ lineup, right? And then the DJ before him has played all the hits. Now, like, what?
Oh, it has happened to me. Done once, done twice.
So how did you recover there?
The first time I was literally shaking up. What am I going to do? Not because I was going to play hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
But if someone plays hit,
of your
the vibe must be like this. The guys are screaming to this song, to the song, to the other song. So now you're going to first take them to some strange place. And you will take down the vibe. So sometimes you end up playing something high tempo, so that guys just keep, but he has played almost every song.
Yeah.
And they do it a lot, by the way. Not once, not twice. They do it a lot. But I think it depends on where you're playing.
Yeah.
And how confident you are. Because sometimes you can just take them to a completely different place that they probably don't like, but you're like, I'm taking you there.
You first drop that Enomaikia Zigidi, you can never go wrong with that one.
But you see now where do you go after that? Like you cannot think about just one song.
Yeah. No, by the time Enomaikia Zigidi gets done,
No, I had a question because of course you're on that side where you're delivering all that, whether it's the music, whether you're writing, whether you're playing it, whatever. But on the other side, you're a listener and you enjoy music and you whatever.
Yes.
So I have a small question, just small. Job out of the way.
Okay.
You're now here, you're having some beverages, and who are some of the, I want to limit you, and all those that don't make this list, she's going to say, it's not because she doesn't like you, it's just because I have asked her only for 3. So don't, okay. Now that I've asked you and given the disclaimer, 3 DJs in UG who really do the thing for you.
I like Joe. I think every time I listen
yeah,
to Joe,
Mr. Continental,
there's
yeah.
just something. Yep, I like DJ Joe.
Selector.
I like Selector J, and not because he's Selector J,
Yeah.
but because he's Selector J.
Yeah.
Who's going to take them down?
That's why it gets difficult.
Yeah. It doesn't get difficult, by the way. I'm just
That's
choosing
why-
who I like.
I think the question should have been DJs who are not part of Radio City.
Radio
No,
City.
I don't like
That's why-
these guys because
that's
they
why I
are
tried
part
to
of
throw-
Radio City. Okay, should we take Radio City away?
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Wait.
Okay. The third DJ that I really like is I have two names. I don't know who to name. I don't know how much time.
I'm not going to help you.
Okay, I like listening to Emmy. There's a DJ called Emmy. He's a new DJ. I like him for two reasons. One, he's a different DJ. Like different, I mean, he's not a DJ who will play you what you had yesterday. And two, he's a DJ who puts like thoughts into his DJing set. Like if you listen to his set, the way he plays, okay, maybe because I'm coming from a technical
It's all
point
right.
of view.
That is why we go to a specialist.
No, those are my top three DJs, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were making us a
Oh,
technical
maybe
thing.
three.
No, they are
The ones outside
No,
Radio
see,
City.
you weren't going to understand. You don't even remember.
Let the people who know. Let the people who know.
No. It's just how he plays with the song. For example, he can play a song, and it's not because it's a mashup or whatever, but just the way he plays with the song he is playing. That the very song is playing, it's very, very good to the ear. My ear, at least.
Agreed. I like that. See, boy, we are bringing otherwise we would have sat and asked the VLC DJ to do the thing.
Hey.
Can we ask just to check?
Yes. You can ask. You can ask.
They may doubt.
That rubbish songwriter. His rubbish won't fit in VLC. To be in the recycle bin.
Next to Ian Zanzibar.
When you were back in the day, you and Mr. DJ.
Back in it.
Is that show?
Back in the day, you and Mr. DJ, every first Saturday of the month, you guys would count down the top urban songs that have been released in the previous year. Month, sorry, not year.
Timeline.
As someone who has been an avid supporter of the UG urban music space, where do you see the UG urban music going? Like, where do you see the future? Where is it going?
I think we are heading somewhere. Not quite sure where, but we are heading somewhere good. However, I think it's just a few handful of people heading in that direction.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
a few handful guys.
Not, like we're heading in a good place, but not all of us are heading in that place.
Do you feel like
Sense.
do you feel like that switch that might be missing could be defining the Ugandan urban music, because it's still majorly influenced by other markets?
Yes.
So I don't know, because for me, there's when I listen to music and I feel like what's missing, because for people that listen to regular urban music from other continents and other markets, you like the song. But like if you're trying to break into the average Ugandan to recognize this, I feel like that switch you kept talking about is just that blend. Make it more local, more consumable, but still.
But then that would keep it in this other genre.
No, something like the way the Nigerians have coined their sound and taken it to the world. I feel like we are moving into that direction, but we need to find that switch and.
Yeah.
What is the Ugandan sound to begin?
Yotuveyo. You watch NBS after 5.
No, I think it's true. Something needs, but it also needs to be centered. You see, like me, I think artists have this power.
Yeah.
They just either refuse to believe that they have the power or they don't know that they have the power.
Yeah.
Because if an artist puts out an album that's made a certain way,
Yeah.
we are going to listen to it how he made it. So if you choose to make your album sound like That's how we are going to take it. But however, if you bring your album out and say, listen, this album is like this, we use these instruments, I worked on it with so and so, this is the feel of it, and indeed it sounds like that, we're going to take it that way. So the artists have to pioneer that switch you're talking about. Artists and producers have to pioneer.
But one artist I feel like got the switch right, but we were just too shocked to be ready, was The Myth on the Ugandan album.
I disagree completely. I was ready for that album.
But you see, that's the thing, it's just a few of us.
Yes.
Because I feel like it defined a Ugandan hip-hop sound, but we were too shocked, like, what? You mean we can actually make something that's purely Ugandan? And we didn't react. Yeah, we didn't react to it.
I think it was it was very underrated, that album. I think it was very, very underrated.
Yeah, and you see, for me, that's where I feel like another area that needs to grow for our hip-hop to be appreciated is the audience.
Yeah.
Because the artists are starting to do their part.
But then that's also it also goes both ways, because like we said, we have a lot of young talented artists. Like let's first leave the ones that have made a name or whatever. I'm talking about the young ones that are coming up left and right. There are so many of them, first of all. There's so many, but there's so many that are actually like, man, listen to the voice and like, oh my God, like you can sing, not these things of, no, you can sing, but the work in and around the music it makes as long as our friends are happy, we do another one.
Yeah.
We do another one. And
Could it be something to do with content?
Yeah.
Content of
Could
the
be. Could be. I think
it's a bunch of things that have to come together to make everything work. I'm getting messages from our producer that we have reached our time. But before we let you go, your top 5 urban music acts right now.
Wait, other than Lagom.
Right.
And Coin and Taka.
Right.
wow.
Okay. That's the only.
From what angle? Like any?
Urban, anything
I
urban.
think it's like urban, but I mean like Ugandan or general.
Ugandan.
Like 5 guys you'd recommend to our listeners right now. Like check out this guy, check out this guy, check out this guy.
Can we talk about something else that come up with those names?
No, we are closing the show. We are closing the episode.
But the guys I want you guys to listen to.
Okay,
We know them. Like,
you guys need to listen to a guy called he's from Bantu Vibes. Rules.
Rules, 100%.
Rules is fantastic.
that was a nice project.
You need to listen to Dreventi. I'm going to say him again. He's a bit raw, so don't be so judgmental, but he has mad potential. You need to listen to I wasn't ready for this. Not that I don't know the artist, but I'm trying to pick out. Yes.
How do I tell people one that you think everyone knows? Imagine Ian had a different opinion, and now he's telling us. Now he's really.
I knew about him.
Yeah, I mean,
I just not really listened.
Yes,
but I'm going to his concert. I'll be next to the stage.
You're going to fall in love.
Yep.
He has already entered.
Even now, it's just.
It's crazy.
Anyway. If I could do my wedding again, Kenneth.
And renew your vows next year, and he will.
Right. There's that capeche coming.
Anyway, the other artist you guys need to listen to is JC Muyonjo. I think JC is he just expressed it. Yeah. How many of them? Oh Jesus.
Let's we're gonna never have a choice.
Let me see. The third, the fifth, I think I'm giving you 4 now, yeah?
Rules, Deventi.
Yeah, no,
JC.
That's 3.
That wasn't 3. There's a 4th person I mentioned. Who was that? There was. Okay. When you play it back, you realize I'm not going to give you 6 names.
No ladies.
Pardon?
No ladies.
How you've redirected her? What if there was someone?
That's not my fault, you know. Anyway,
You should look out for.
yes. When you said it, I'm now switching. I'm going to give you my last 2. They are female. It was not designed that way, but you know. There is a lady called a.k.a. I don't know if you've listened to her.
Definitely.
Oh, that's what you wanted. The other lady you need to listen to in the urban scene. The problem with the ladies that I know, most of them are doing cover work.
Yeah.
And for me, however good you are on cover work, unless I hear your personal project, I cannot judge you.
Yeah.
I feel like you're already 50% there. The work was done for you, and you just put it.
Right.
It's a bit hard, but there are ladies that are doing some. I'm going to leave this person. I feel so bad because I remember somebody.
We'll tweet us when you remember the person.
If I text you, will you put it in the thing?
Tujataka catch fanani. What's in the voice note?
Let me see.
The last one doesn't have to be you pick whatever you're picking.
I will pick.
Producer, Daba.
Producer. You need to listen to. Jeez, can it just be another Bantu vibes person?
Yeah.
Just listen to Bantu vibes as
But we forgot to ask him. Tennessee, please, we're tired of by our
Ad-lib. Send ad-lib. Send ad-lib. Guys, first of all, Sal, thanks for honoring our invite.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for supporting us, not only today, but always supporting us and whatever we are trying to do and accomplish. My co-host, thanks for well behaving. For behaving well. We had an important guest. Apart from that last...
Not the usual.
No. Today there's a guest.
Leslie kept quiet the whole time.
And asked intelligent questions.
Almost.
But I'm intelligent.
It's only you as intelligent.
Mark stay there.
I asked intelligent questions.
Mpola. Yeah.
I'm happy I came to you. You can have me again next time.
Yeah.
How can artists get their music to you? Those who don't know you.
So I don't ask intelligent questions.
I think these ones have like a beef. If you want to send me your music, it's very easy. Just send it to my email. I'm one of those people. Srlmyr, that is Salma @gmail.com. And I review all the music I get, the good, the bad, the pushable, the deletable. I will just know I will listen.
Wow.
And
Deletable.
Put it in a folder.
Next to Ian's album.
Hey.
Yes, album has suffered, man. That is not even out. Can you imagine? It's in the recycle bins.
Coming soon, 2035.
As usual, shout outs to LNF, shout outs to Hassan from the family Hassan. Thanks for doing the work behind the scenes and organizing today's set. Our Momo number. First tell the people one time.
Guys,
we need the coins.
Send something.
Yeah.
To 624404.
Yes.
That's 624404.
Eleta manyachi.
Skyline Media.
Number one.
Send the coins. Send the coins so that we can afford to be in such locations.
Felix's drink running out.
Hey, the sponsors, yes. Guys, thanks for today. Thanks for listening. See you next week.